Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. You're at the spot, the place, where the conversation is pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. Did you bring your thinking caps? It's time to put them on, because the conversation
Welcome to
starts
On the Edge with
now.
April Mahoney Brains. How are you today? You are back at the spot, the place, the best podcast on the planet, where the conversations are pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. Today we have Kim Patterson. Kim Patterson is a certified mastery consultant with Brave Thinking Institute, specializing in helping individuals design and manifest and live in alignment with their soul purpose. In addition to that, she's killing it in the real estate market. Okay. We're going to see how both of those have a synchronicity, how both of those have an alignment, coaching, being happy about what you do. You know, even the things that don't necessarily make us smile can still make us happy. A smile and happiness are two totally different things. You got to do the inside job, it's an internal job. Okay. And again, what is happiness? Is it a drug? Is it an emotion, energy in motion? What is it that we keep chasing, seeking? How come we can't find contentment and peace and happiness just in the fact that we woke up, that there's trees outside, that our family is healthy, that we have food on our table? Why are we always looking for something else? I don't know. Kim, can you tell us? Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, April. It's so great to be here. Well, first of all, being happy is something I think everybody strives for, and then kind of discounts if they don't have it, or we use self-depreciating language. And I'm finding more and more that being happy really is an inside job. Just like you were saying, it's not a place, it's not a destination. It really is right here, right now. And we can even be happy despite what's going on around us, right? So there's just so many things that, there's a lot of people I know and I've worked with that have had trauma in their lives, have had really upsetting circumstances, and are going through really hard times now. And it really is a shift in perspective and seeing things from a different perception. And sometimes it just takes learning how to do that shift, how to make that shift in the moment.
Well, that's like trust, love, and truth.
Yes.
It is by design. Me and my husband were having a quick little conversation over some tea and coffee cake this morning. And, we were talking about at a certain age, you grow into a maturity, is that you just don't care about the things that used to upset you before.
Yes.
You want to live your last days as peaceful as you can. And love is by design.
Yes, it is.
Everybody doesn't care to be loved the same way or need to be loved the same way. I had a great parents, mom and dad. So I'm not longing for that. I've got a great marriage. I'm not longing for that. But sometimes you look at yourself in the mirror and you say, oh, I don't like my body, the body dysmorphia. There's no love and happiness there. And also, there's an expectation on love. Do you find that people are authentic when they say they practice unconditional love?
That's a really good question. I think unconditional love is definitely something that we all strive for. But is it achievable all the time? I think it's achievable some of the time. I think it's great as a goal. But unconditional love all the time, we are human beings having a spiritual being, having a human experience. And that's part of the drive that keeps us going, is wanting to have those things and striving to have them. So that's a really, really good question.
Because I tell people all the time, I'm not necessarily proud of it, but I'm not ashamed of it. There's conditions on my love.
Yeah, absolutely.
I bring in a stray dog and feed him and brush him, and that joker bite me. I don't love you no more.
And the same can happen with people.
Same can happen with people. And you know what? But what we have to do is we have to manage our expectations.
Yes.
other individuals, you know.
Yeah.
We
Exactly.
were part of that same conversation was that, friendship. What is friendship? Well, there's going to be difficulties in friendship. It should be because you set up boundaries. You know, if that person is, as we say, ride or die, are they in it to win it? Are they there? Are they on your team?
Yes.
Um, when you manifest things, are they happy for you or are they really kind of side eyeing you? You can manifest some trouble too. You know that,
Oh,
Kim, like I do.
absolutely.
So people think, oh, I got a vision board and I did this hocus pocus alamocus and I done rubbed my crystals, girl. I done put my crystals outside and charged them and all this kind of stuff. And all this stuff is gonna come true because I know. But it's more than that.
Yes.
Define manifestation for us, please.
Ooh, good word. Um, I would say manifestation is looking at something you want and creating that outcome. And sometimes it doesn't come in the timing we want or the way we want, but it's kind of like creating your life by design or creating it by default. We will default to whatever circumstances, whatever our point of view is, all of that. But if we have visions and goals, we can move towards those things and manifest them. Now, do we manifest them perfectly or in pieces along the way? And I like to believe that it's pieces along the way, that it's not, sometimes it is wow, it happened, right?
Mhm.
But more than likely, more times than not, it's things that happen along the way. The I'm going to give an example of digging a ditch for water. You dig and dig and dig and dig and dig, and you're not getting that water to the field until you do that final dig, right? That final one is what lets the water through. And sometimes we do and we work and we think, oh, if I just did more. And sometimes it's not about doing more, it's really about being more. It's about believing that you're doing the right things at the right time, right? That you're digging that hole, that you're digging that to get the water to the field. And that is really applicable to anything. I'm using that example because it's really, yeah, it's
Well, it
people
makes
can
it makes
visualize that.
perfect sense, but I think that it's gratitude along the way. That's the shovel to
Oh
dig in the
yes,
trench. Is that
yes,
you have to appreciate the highs and the lows
yes,
in manifestation. That's like me. When I do a vision board, I do them a couple times a year because it's my focus. This my goals. But I put roadblocks. I put stumbling blocks. I'll draw a hill because I have to overcome the adversity.
yes.
And if you do not understand that, then you got it all wrong. It's not a straight trajectory. The
No,
stock market don't even go straight up, you know? It is hills and valleys.
yes, it is.
And you have to learn in the valley before you can rise. Sometimes you have to go back downhill, go back to that same valley, go over that hill, you back in the same valley because you have not learned the lesson.
Girl, I love that. I love that. I a lot of times I will use the analogy of driving a car. You have a place where you are, you've got to know where that is, and you've got to know where you're going. But
Right.
when you're on the road, you're going to hit roadblocks. You're going to go off the road. And if you find yourself there, if you simply just get back on the road. But a lot of times we get off in those ditches or the, terrain and we stay there
Mhm.
and complain and all of those things. So yes, gratitude absolutely is a
Yeah.
huge
And
part.
and commiserating.
Thank you. Oh,
You are who you eat, or what you eat, or who you hang around, all that.
yes.
Again, it's your circle of influence. And that circle, you know, for some people is very big.
Yes.
Mine's not that big. Mine has gotten smaller over time because there's a reason and there's a season. And that's okay.
It's not
Yes.
that they're not great individuals, but you just can't have a front row seat in my theater. This is not your movie. This is not your show. And to be able to be happy for somebody else, or to feel their pain or feel their agony or loan them $20, knowing you ain't going to get it back. Those are the kind of things that are selfless.
Yes.
People are not selfless. They want to be in control of every cotton picking thing. When you sit in the back of the Uber, baby, you're not driving. Okay? You're just not driving. And so you have to learn to ride the terrain.
Yes.
So, speaking of driving and riding the terrain, you be driving past some fabulous properties. How did you get into real estate?
That is such a funny question. I used to teach special ed, absolutely loved it, had great results there. But I found myself getting really frustrated with micromanaging, and not being able to do the things that I found worked. Had some really, like I said, really great results with kids. And I ended up, my husband actually said, why don't you take a real estate course? And I said, oh, it's probably going to be a lot of paperwork, like special needs. And he said, just go sign up. So I signed up. A couple days later, I canceled. And he said, why did you cancel? I said, I don't want to spend $1,000 to find out that I don't like it. And he said, Kim, we could spend $1,000 on tires.
Right.
Go try it. Go try it and find out if girl, it fit perfectly with me. Because for me, it's not about sales. It's about serving.
Right.
It's about finding, what do you want? What are you looking for? And the biggest complaint I hear in the industry is real estate agents show me what they want. They don't show me the homes that I want. And so, so it's just turned into a passion for me. Most of my clients are referrals. I would probably say 80%.
When you're
My
doing
second year, my second year in the industry, I did over 100K. And I didn't know it until I did my taxes because that wasn't my focus. And that's one thing I want to share with you is when your focus is people, when your focus is care, and when you're really serving people, the money will come. It will come.
Money is an illusion.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm trying to tell you, it's some trickery. Now, it's some trickery that we cannot live without.
Yeah.
But you have to learn how to utilize it, manufacture it, and teach it how to work for you. All these people, and I'm not a financial advisor, I'm just throwing some stuff out there at you. But people will purchase a piece of property, for example, and they don't have any children, they don't have a spouse, their family is estranged, and they're living their last days, and they're living not in squalor, but they could be doing a whole lot better. Now, make that property work for you. Equity line of credit, rent out one of the rooms to a college student, reverse mortgage, sell the thing and go live on a cruise ship. But what you have to, that's what they're doing, girl. The seniors is living on the cruise ships. Yes, they are. But what I'm saying is it's about leverage. Just like in life.
Yeah.
You've got to learn how to look at what your assets are.
Yes.
And not be afraid. Yes, the interest rate is not what we want it to be, but things will shift.
Yes, they will.
They will shift. The tide will shift. Maybe you don't need that real big house that you can't clean. Maybe you want a cute little condo out by the beach that you can go walk your poodle. You want to be able to have a trusted realtor that hears what you want, not dictate what they want.
Right.
Because the real estate market has changed. I've got some great friends that are realtors, and now with all this additional documentation that you have, your pay structure, the fees and all that, it's getting ridiculous.
It is.
It's getting ridiculous. But let me ask you something really quick, and then we'll get back to that. Where are you at again?
San Antonio, Texas.
Okay, you in Texas. Are they buying properties there with cryptocurrency?
Not that I'm aware of. That's not my specialty. So that could be going on, but I stay in my lane right now.
Oh, no, I'm just saying is the vehicle of the dollar, because they're doing a lot of that in Northern California. They're buying
Interesting.
$2.5 billion properties with electronic currency. And as I see and as I observe, that's peer to peer. That's cutting out the middleman. There's the realtor Kim, there's the prospective buyer, and there's the seller. Boom. No escrow, no title, no uh, bloody this, bloody that, bloody that. So I'm just wondering how that works. And I'm going to get somebody on the show, and I'll probably bring you back with us too.
Yes.
That can speak to that, because the world currency is changing.
Yes, it is.
But what they're not making any more of is any more property, any more vast land. And so when you purchase a property, that is one of the most intimate things that you can do. It's like choosing a mate. Your kids are going to go to school there. You're going to find a church there. You want to be near a grocery store. What is it when you do your initial intake of a potential client? Because I know you just don't take anybody because you're by referral. But what are you looking for in a client that gels best with you?
I'm looking for someone who is willing to share with me and be genuine about what they want. I build trust. If you don't trust me, we're not going to work together well. Just bottom line, because I walk people through a process, and I also give them a whole checklist of things. And it's a new process, April, for everyone, and it's very complicated. And I find that the more I explain, hey, this is coming up, this is coming up. Here's a situation. What would you like to do? Here are your choices. Most realtors don't do that. They just say, here, do this, here, do that. I give my clients choices, if there are some, and let them make the best decision for their family, which is huge. And that's one of the things that I get over and over again is you listened, you cared, and you directed me in that direction. But also protecting them. There are a lot of things that can go wrong. In San Antonio, we have foundation issues. I provided a sewer scan free of charge. I pay for it because we have a lot of issues here that happen underneath the house where you can't see them. I've had a couple people move into homes who wouldn't pay for that themselves because of money, and they ended up having their sewage back up into their homes. I vowed never to have that happen again. So that's one thing I provide. You don't want those things happening, and you don't know what you don't know. So I consider myself an educator about real estate, not just a realtor.
Right. That's one of the biggest, like I said, that's one of the biggest investments that you'll make.
Yes.
And then when you go to sell, that's a challenge too.
Yes, it is.
Because how have you maintained that property? Have you ever bought a roof? Have you ever changed the filter on the cotton picking air conditioner there in Texas?
Yes. And it's disclosure, disclosure, disclosure. You have to disclose everything. And if you don't, and that's something as realtors, we cannot help a client with. You have to disclose it. And if you don't, if I help you with that form, I'm liable.
Right.
So it's important. But I coach people through that too. You've got to know why.
Absolutely.
Why do I need to disclose? Well, somebody can turn around and sue you later. And it happens.
And it's the right thing to do. You just
Thank you.
You're going to sell a car. It looks great on the inside, but it's got a faulty transmission. We're using this car analogy. Maybe we should sell cars. But seriously, it's the mechanics of what's going on. And yes, it's to sell a property can be overwhelming as well. People fall out of escrow. They make false claims. They end up having bad credit, or they can't come up with a deposit, or
it's all the time.
It's all this all the time. So you have to be patient because this is a transaction.
Yes. And another key there, April, is I've had clients go through that. And sometimes nothing happens for a week. But if you don't communicate during that week, it incites fear. Lack of communication starts fear in people. So I will text them, hey, I don't have anything to report. Just checking in. Do you have any questions?
Right.
It's amazing. It's just like, because it's stressful. It's one of the most stressful things you're ever going to do, buying or selling.
Right.
And so having somebody that tells you, hey, everything's good so far, or hey, there's an issue, this is coming up. It's the communication. It really is. And not just communication, but genuine communication.
Right.
So
And so
important.
I see how these two careers, plus the work that you've done with special needs, mirror so perfectly together because you have the compassion, you have the skill set, you have the desire, you have the want, you want to please, you want to serve in every capacity that you do. And that is so important when you're looking for a realtor or a coach in any capacity. I don't care if she's a coach on teaching you how to bake a cake. You want somebody
True.
that's going to listen to you and that's going to care about you, but also has the foresight to say, hey, you know what? I had dreamed the impossible dream. I dream big. See, me, I've been that way since I was a child.
Me too.
Big dreamer. Really, I go way out. Sometimes I have to tether myself down because if you don't have dreams, what are you here for? Your
Yeah.
dreams is attached to your hope, which is attached to your purpose, which is attached to your goals,
Very true.
and if you don't have that leverage, you down there with the plankton, you down there with the bottom feeders. What is the purpose of life but to grow and to expand? Wouldn't you agree, Kim?
Absolutely. I had a client call me, actually, a good family friend of ours, and she said, hey, I want you to help me find a rental. I need to move out of my apartment. I want a house. And I said, how about buying? I don't know if I can. I said, well, how about giving it a shot? Oh, I'd love to have a home, but, right, all the buts come in. And I said, well, let's give it a shot. I mean, the worst case that can happen is it's no, and you have some information for when you can buy. But would you love it? Would you love to have your own home? Oh, Kim, I would love that. Girl, she found a home. Took her a while to fix her credit, but I worked with her on it, and she found a home, and it literally, instead of 4 weeks of closing, she closed in 2 weeks, and she moved in 3 weeks ago. That to me is success.
Absolutely.
Not my success, her success.
Absolutely.
Because it really is about helping people achieve sometimes things they don't even know they want or think they can have.
Right.
That's the
Right.
biggest thing, is our belief.
That's right. That's right. You got to feel the fear, yet do it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't know what she didn't know. And everybody, I don't care who you are, you telling me a story. If you say that you've never had a ding on your credit, a bounce check, you didn't pay the credit card. I'm so glad now. I don't know what it is like in Texas, but in California, I think this was through the last administration that medical bills can no longer be attached to your credit report because that's something you can't get from up under. Student loans, you know, your ex-boyfriend you co-signed on his car, all of this kind of stuff. But you have to face it, brains. You got to
Yeah.
get that credit report. You got to get that bank statement. You got to contact the IRS and say, look, here I am. Because you're just a point and a click away from anything. They already know.
Yeah.
People crack me up with that. Well, I don't want to be on the internet because they don't know. Baby, they know.
You are already on there.
Already on there, they already know everything. You can pay a minimal amount and have a complete investigation done on somebody online from the comfort of your home. But what you need to do is you need to be cautious. You need to be strategic. You need to have an eagle eye view, and you need to work with a trained professional like Kim, somebody that can help you dodge the bullet and help you come up with a good explanation, not a lie, but an explanation for why you didn't pay that bill, you know, because he ran off with another woman.
The truth will
That's
set
why I didn't
you
pay for the
free,
car.
right?
Yeah, that's why I didn't pay for the car, because he ran off with another woman, you know. Uh, and companies understand that. The
Yeah.
person that's sitting across the table from you is just another human being that has done that. So there's a lot of flexibility, and there's a lot of creative financing now here that they're doing these days.
Oh, yes. Sometimes it's higher interest, but you can always refinance in 2 years, right? So there's just there are a lot of different programs out there. Here in San Antonio, we have a lot of new construction. I mean, there's signs everywhere. And a lot of these new construction are offering 4.99 interest rate. They're
Mm.
paying your closing costs. And so it really is finding the home you want and coming out of pocket your down payment, which is usually 3.5%. But some homes don't even have that.
Wow. And then you have other options. You know, the VA is still an option for
Yes, ma'am.
people. FHA is still an option for people looking and finding the money. But once you find the money, you got to pay your bills.
Yes.
There's nothing worse or more heartbreaking to get into a home, establish yourself outside of, you know, things happen, medical bills, uh, somebody loses their job, the marriage breaks up, and you have to sell the property.
Right.
But sell it with some equity, brains, because you've paid your bills. I was asking some kids the other day, I said, okay, I need you to prioritize some things for me in life. What's the first thing you pay? You know what they told me? Their cell phone bill.
Cell phone bill. I knew that.
I was like,
Yep. Communication. That's communication.
communication. The first thing I said, you wouldn't worry about paying your rent and your utilities and getting some food. They well know, Miss April, you know, we could bunk with a friend, and you know, we could call Uber Eats, and you know, we could get in a Uber car. We don't need a car. Their priorities have shifted. They don't want the
Completely.
big ranch style home, 4 bedrooms, 5 bedrooms, half an acre, you know, a couple cars. They don't want that anymore. That's not a priority to them. Are you finding what are some of the challenges that you're finding with generation the millennials per se?
Ooh, good one. Um, Sometimes people want to buy more house than they can afford, and a lot of times the lenders will give it to them. Um, and I tell people it's no fun to be house poor. So if they do want, the big house, the big whatever, let's talk about starting what you can afford, what you can embrace right now with your current situation, and have extra money to be able to do some fun things. Because, like I said, it's no fun to be house poor. And a lot of times people buy a big house and they're broke at another level. They're broke here and they buy everything looks good, but they're still broke or struggling or month to month, right? So those are some things, absolutely. But with millennials, I'm finding that a lot of people, a lot of millennials, are renting, but they're finding now that their rent is going to be more, at least in San Antonio, their rent is higher than their house payment could be. So it's really education. And again, that communication, which is key, teaching people, teaching people about money, teaching people about finances, teaching people. I mean, all of this is encompassed in doing real estate, but it doesn't come up until the conversation happens. Once that conversation starts happening, then we can have some discourse about what are you looking for? What do you want? Is this the right time for you to be buying? Maybe you should wait. But it's really about honoring where people are at the moment and allowing them to make the best decision. I really believe people know the right decision. Sometimes they just aren't given the tools to make that decision.
Well, you know, they don't know what to ask.
Exactly.
You know, you might get with someone that needs to make their quota, and it's all about them at that point. I mean, that's the real deal. They have to eat too, Kim.
Right.
You know, I get it. You're at the top of your game. There's a realtor out there that's struggling that hasn't closed a deal in 2 months. So you have to look at the level of integrity of an individual too. Ask a lot of questions.
Lots of
Google them.
questions.
Look at their references. Go to to other real estate courses. We did that. We educated ourselves as much as we could. I took the real estate exam. Same thing. My husband encouraged me to do it. I missed it by 2 questions, and I never went back. I
It's a
never
tough
went back and did
test.
it again. And the reason why I did it really kind of wasn't that difficult that I thought, but the challenge was a disclosure, as you said. And I was going to purchase my real estate license to flip properties. When I found out in my particular situation, it was easier to flip and not have the constraints of being a realtor.
Oh, absolutely.
Because then you got Big Brother hovering over you and say, hey, you could lose your license, or maybe you did a shady deal because you had an inside track, or you didn't do the proper paperwork. So I said, well, no, I'm not going to do it. But what I have done is I've built strong alliances with great people like you. Now, I'm going to ask you one more question, and then we're going to get into some fun stuff. We're going to go back into your love for mastering and consulting and thinking and the Thinking Institute. What is it to think? What is that process? Because people aren't thinking right now, they're just reacting.
That's really good. I talk about responding and reacting versus being present and allowing yourself to process the information so that you can ask good questions. Thinking is a process that we all have access to. Not many of us use it.
Well,
or April, you know what? A lot of times those old stories come up about I'm not good enough, I don't have enough, I don't have what it takes. And it's help reprogramming that thinking process into something that's empowering. And we all have a history, good, bad, whatever. We all have things that we can choose to focus on that aren't necessarily good. Or we can find those things, which sometimes takes a little bit of work. What are the things you are good at? Where are those skills that you have developed transferable to something else? What is it that you've done in the past that we can focus on, that we can use that as a leverage or a stepping stone into the next thing that you want to do?
Absolutely. Because again, you want to be able to pivot, edit, filter, and shift.
Yes.
That is a part of being in alignment. Alignment is not a straight line.
No.
Okay.
Oh, no.
And you have to be able to recognize and flip the switch and say, ooh, maybe I need to just stop right now. Like Kim said, maybe this isn't the best time to purchase a property. Doesn't mean that 6 months from now, the interest rate, look, the interest rate just went down a little bit. It's supposed to go down again before the end of the year.
Man.
That gives you time to strategically put your plan in place to build up that little extra reserve. Because let me tell you, you need it.
You'll need it.
You need it. There's a lot of other expenditures outside of just the mortgage, utilities, homeowners association, the maintenance of the property, the cleaning of the yard. And these HOAs are tough now.
Ooh.
They get on my nerve. That's why I'm on the board. I'm like, hold up, wait a minute. Everybody cannot afford to do this. Your homeowners association can also put you in a situation to where they can put a lien on your property, can't they?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Wow. How did they get so much power?
That's a really good question. I personally, I kind of put them in the same category as, what is it?
IRS?
Timeshares. Once you get in, you can't get out.
Wow.
Same with it with an HOA. There's nothing legally you can do. It's part of the community. So that's something else I tell people. If you don't want an HOA, don't look at new construction, because all of them here, at least in San Antonio,
all
of them.
All
so it's really important to know what you want so you know what you can do with your property too.
A girlfriend of mine and her husband, they could not, he liked to change his oil in his driveway. They didn't have none of that.
Mm-mm.
Having none of that. My
No
brother-in-law,
boats, no trailers.
yeah, my brother-in-law's, they planted some shrubbery, and I guess it was relatively new. They couldn't tell it was going to be plants. They went and pulled it up. They sent them a notice and told them, you better replant. You better replant that. You can't change the color because they've structured a community. So many areas have been, you know, uh,
You can,
disenfranchised.
but it has to be approved. I mean,
And
anything, we extended our driveway, we had to get approval. It's steps in a process, and I understand the reason for it. It is keeping the community nice. I mean, we have an HOA. If I had somebody down the street with 3 vacant cars sitting there to be worked on, I'd have a little bit of an issue with that too. But if you want to be able to do that, you can buy land. You can buy an HOA free community. There's several in the area.
they don't, they figured it used to be the day where you could do those kind of things and make those modifications, but now it's very uniformed.
Yeah.
And if you want to have a say, let's go to the meetings and join the homeowners association.
Bingo. Absolutely.
Communication, your voice will be heard.
Yeah.
You could be, and interact with the people in your community. You know how many people don't even say hi to their neighbors? So you're a little bit more friendly down there in Texas. But here in California,
Y'all.
those can be parsnickety. I mean, they don't say, walk right past you, don't say good morning, don't pet your dog, any of that. You need to know the people that live around you for a variety of reasons. Safety, security, love, friendship, a good barbecue, all of those things. You need to be a good neighbor. All
And
of that is
sometimes
important.
even Facebook has community chats for the neighborhood. So get involved in those too. That's definitely.
And don't be the Gladys Kravitz telling on everybody. That gets on my. I got one girl. I tell you, you can't do nothing, and she's not. She's not on it. Now, sometimes it's to our benefit, but other times it's annoying. So build relationships with people. Get to know people. Don't assume that you know things that you don't. But what I want is I want to know some more things about you, Kim. So I say this in homage. I know that you just lost your father. Um, but tell me something wonderful about him that not a lot of people know.
Girl, thank you for asking. That's really special. He was all about serving and making people happy. I remember, here's something nobody knows. My baby shower with my now 31-year-old. My dad dressed up in a dress with oranges
Oh,
and a purse and came and crashed my baby shower.
oh my God.
Now, understand, this is an electrical engineer by trade. So it was way out of his element. But he would dress up as Frankenstein and he made shoes with extra wood on the bottom at Halloween. It was all about kids, all about kids. He was happiest with a kid on his lap or reading a story or making a kid laugh. And that's his legacy. That's legacy too with my kids and their kids too. So
That's beautiful.
yeah.
That's beautiful. How do you want to be remembered? What do you want to be your legacy?
That's so interesting you asked that because since my father has died, I've been really digging into that more and his legacy, right? Noticing the things that he's done in his life. And the time to build a legacy is now. It's not later. So I look at what he did and what he created in his relationships. And it was always about relationships. It was always about building bridges, finding ways to communicate with people. And that is my legacy too. It's building those bridges. Understand, Stephen Covey says, try to understand before being understood.
Mm-hmm.
And if you listen, you know, behavior, any behavior is a language. I used to tell my parents this in special ed. Behavior's a language. When I had kids throwing desks and spitting and kicking, that was the only way they could communicate. And we have some adults, the only way they know how to communicate is anger.
Really? I'm not being snarky.
But I know, but there's something behind that. There's usually hurt or pain. And if we can somehow listen to what's behind the behavior and listen to that, a lot of times we can come to understand before we're trying to be understood. And that's really where the bridges are built.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you were an appliance in the kitchen, what appliance would you be?
I would say a refrigerator.
Why would you be the refrigerator?
Because it keeps things cool, keeps things fresh. You can go in and find the things you want to cook. Hopefully, if you stock it. I would be a full refrigerator.
My girlfriend's got a refrigerator that talks to her, tells her when she's low on milk. Oh yes, state of the art, baby. I think she paid like $10,000 for that thing. I was like, okay, well, it better be cooking and serving. You know what I would
Thank you. Thank you. Does it order on and get the food delivered too?
It probably does. She could probably talk to Siri, and it probably does. I'm gonna have to ask her. But you know what I decided to be?
What?
I said I'm gonna be the garbage can. Because I want to be the place where you dispose of the things that no longer serve you.
Ooh.
I want to be the place that you can recycle. I want to be the thing that you take out often and regularly. The garbage. Get rid of the garbage, brains. Get rid of it. If you were a car, Kim, what kind of car would you be?
SUV.
A SUV. Why you want to be an SUV?
Your questions are great.
Thank you.
Oh, because it can take you where you want to go, whether it's someplace smooth or rough terrain. It's comfortable, and usually it's a little more sturdy than an itty bitty little car.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some protection in there. And I've been sideswiped by a semi truck, so I have an SUV. Trust me, it's up high. So I had no problem answering that question. I like to be able to see my clear vision. What about you?
I want to be a 1974 VW van. I want mine with the flowers painted on the side. I want a mattress in the back. I want a hookah pipe. I want a fine brother with a big afro playing some Jimi Hendrix. Oh yes, girl. I want to be retro. I am not trying to do
love it.
No stuff, and I need to run off regular gas. I'm sorry.
The other thing about SUV, I like having room for others in my car.
Absolutely.
Whether I need it or not, I've got room. I mean, I'm 61. I don't have kids. I got grandkids.
Wow.
But if we want to go somewhere, I've got room.
Well, you can come borrow my van. You can sleep in the back.
There we go.
Because we got a big old mattress back there. Absolutely.
I love it.
If you were a flower in the garden, what flower would you be?
I would say a rose.
Rose? I get a lot of roses.
You know, roses is really unique. It's got spikes on it, and the spikes come with protection because of past hurts. But some roses have a whole lot of them. Some don't have very many. And I've got a few. I've been able to shave quite a few of them down over time. The hurts, but if you poke, like poking the bear, you're going to get stuck. You're going to get stuck. Absolutely. And yet I really like to think of myself as a rose that has a good, scent to it, attracts people and bees sometimes.
Oh, man, a lot of
To
bees.
pollinate, right? That's a good thing. That helps our whole world. Yeah.
I think I want to be a calla lily.
Oh, yes.
I want to be a calla lily. They come in so many different colors, but I like it because you only spring up when it's your time. You only spring up when it's your season.
Thank
That's
you.
usually and that's usually during the resurrection.
Yeah.
It lets me know that there is a purpose, and all you have to do is wait for me.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is wait for me. I'm coming back.
Beautiful.
Water me, love me, nurture me, feed me some good fertilizer. But I'm coming back. And I thank you so much for sharing your time, your wisdom. I can see you're still in your feelings, but feel your feelings, baby. It's all right. It's all good. Seems like me and you got the dimple in the same place.
We
And
do. Oh my gosh, we do.
every time we smile, I see it popping up. So I
Yeah.
want you to keep smiling. I want you to keep manifesting. I want you to keep helping people build their dreams for the American dream of prosperity, of owning a home, and knowing what to do with that and making the right choice. Tell my brains how to get in contact with you. And if you have any current promotions or offers, or you want to list your real estate company.
Okay. Okay. Well, I have two websites. One is behappytoday.com, just like it sounds. And that's really about finding what makes you happy and pursuing it. And the other one is Kim Patterson Realtor, KIMPATTERSONREALTOR.com.
Did you get that, brains? Okay. If you didn't, it's going to be posted in the back. What I want you to do is I want you to reach out to Kim. I want you to have a conversation with her because I'm sure that she would just love to talk to you just on the strength. Anywhere on the planet. You don't have to be in Texas. You don't have to be in California. You don't have to be in the United States. We are virtual.
Right.
And love is universal. Okay. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to build bridges. We're trying to build homes because my God said he has many mansions. He's just waiting for us to move on in. So thank you.
Thank you, April, so
You're
much. I love your energy and your insightfulness and your unique questions. It brings out a different thing than most people do. So I appreciate you.
Because I want to go deep. I don't want to just know you on the surface level. I want people to know what they're going to do when they dig that trench with you. That's what you said. And when you get that water that's going to go through there, that's going to flow. That's very important. I need y'all to flow on over to YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Now I'm not on X. That gives me heartburn. And I'm not a TikToker. You know, I can't give it to you in 30-second sound bites. I tried, but it's not my zone of genius. But everywhere else, all you gotta do is Google my name. I'm gonna show up. Love, like, you see this? Love, I wore this for a reason. This is what I want you to do. Love, like, share, and subscribe. Understand what your love language is. Write it down if you don't know. But tell people, teach people how to treat you. That's the first thing. Okay? But you got to know who you are. And it's got to be right. So you got to manifest good things. Talk to people like him. All right? I love you, girl.
Love you too. Thank you,
there.
April. Have a great day.
You, baby. Bye, brains.